up, my lovely females? This is your boy Costa, your host for the evening. Behind me is Thomas Cub's house. Today is Thomas Cub's birthday, and this is Project X. Yo.
Just big enough to be.
What is going on? Ugh. Listen, I've redone this so many times, I can't even count. I'm trying to be perfect, and I'm super hard on myself, so we're just gonna raw dog this. We're just gonna record and just throw whatever out, because I'm not gonna lie, I've struggled so many times doing this because, one, I don't talk to myself. Two, this is odd because I'm literally just talking into my phone right now. Obviously, there's nobody here to talk to, so welcome to Out of My Mind, the podcast to declutter the mind and be good for the soul. My name is Kathy. I'm your host, as always. This podcast is going to be about mental health, pop culture, comedy, kind of anything that you could possibly think of if you know me. Welcome to my home. Yeah. Basically, I'm doing it the low budget way because your girl ain't got the funds like that, okay? But I've always wanted to make a podcast just like this, just because I feel like I've always been the child to talk. In all my classes, I was always talking. I was always getting in trouble for talking. In middle school, I've gotten in trouble because of my mouth in general, because I'm very like, I don't take shit from nobody kind of vibe, you know? I mean, that's kind of where I'm going with this. Anyways, so I am 21. I did go through a lot of life changes this year. Personally, you know, it has been a toll trying to, you know, live this new life that I endured in the beginning of 2023. Meaning I unfortunately got broken up with. I know, sucks, but it's okay because life goes on. You got to do what you got to do to get yourself out of that slump. I do work in the mental health field. Let's put it that way. I don't know why I said business. So I do work in the mental health field. I do work as an intake coordinator at a private practice. So my information is, you know, pretty up to date with what's going on currently. I've been working there for about 2 years now, 2.5, 2 years, something like that. I started this job when I was like 18, turning 19, I think. So being very young and starting in this field is not for the weak. But if you do love helping people and you do feel like your purpose in life is to care for others and listen to others and just be a giver, a natural born giver, that's just what I am. Also, I'm a Pisces. So the giver and the Pisces, you know, kind of goes together. I'm very emotional. I'm very, you know, dramatic for a lot of things, unfortunately. And I feel like growing up, I've always felt out of place. I've been always in my head about a lot of things, and I felt judged for the lifestyle I was living at a young age. Not many people know, but at the time, I was going through a lot of personal family issues, and being young and living in a chaotic household and trying to go to school and, you know, be the class clown and try to be everybody's friend and just, you know, be that social butterfly I was at a young age. I mean, being a teenager, you want to have all the friends in the world. I definitely had a lot of friends growing up. I still currently talk to a lot of the friends that I've stuck around through a lot of my life, going through a lot of different life changes. I think my longest friendship I have has to be, I think, 12 years, I think, or 10. A lot of my friendships are like hitting the 10-year mark because we've been friends since we were like 12. Shout out to you guys. You guys know who you are. I'm not going to list you guys because we're not going to do that right now. But definitely doing this podcast was so uncomfortable for me just because I've always lived a very private life. I've always felt like I never wanted to share too much with my friends just because I felt like, you know, they're my friends, so we don't really need to talk on that type of level. But once I got older and I realized that, like, damn, when you get older, it gets real lonely out here. I highly recommend getting a therapist. If you don't go to therapy and you would like to, highly recommend finding a therapist. Go on Psychology Today. I know that because I give that out on a daily call. So go on Psychology Today. You can definitely find a therapist in your area and filter through all that great stuff. And that's not sponsored, by the way, but one day it will be for sure. So I definitely enjoy mostly about my job being able to know that I've done good in the world, you know, knowing that I've either changed somebody's day or I listened to somebody, even if I couldn't help them in the way that they wanted, at least I could give a ear to lend, a listen to. I got this job when I was 18 and it very much changed my mind on a whole bunch of perspectives in life. I recently did get broken up with, so that definitely affected a lot of change in my life as well, but no shade towards him at all. Great guy, still friends. It just didn't work out, unfortunately, but I definitely changed my mind and my heart and just the way I put myself out there now, saying that I am very cautious in a lot of things that I do. Like making this podcast is so weird for me just because I'm a very private person. Now that I am 21, you get older and, you know, you don't like, I don't know if this is just me, but when I got older, I don't like hanging out in a big group setting of people anymore. It's usually either one-on-one, but if we do go out, it's like we're going out. Like we're going to go do stuff. Yeah. Or I'm more of like a board game, like stay in the house type of vibe too. I'm more of an introvert. Well, yeah, my house is decked out. So I'm a very much pop culture, like I enjoy music, I enjoy movies, I enjoy anything that has to do with actors, actresses, anything musicians, dating, what's going on. I'm very much like keeping up with the K's vibe. Yes. I'm a hardcore Kardashian lover and I can't help myself. Just love those girls. So don't be like, oh my God, ew, she likes the Kardashians. Like, don't hate them. Stop hating them. You can't hate them. You really can't. You just gotta love them. Join the club. It's a club. You'll just love them. I'm like, why? They never did anything to you. Jesus. Don't be a hater. Hater vibes. But mental health, comedy. I love stand-up comedy. I love comedians. I love watching just any comedian, honestly. I really don't have like a favorite. I just love humor. Like I think if you can get on a stage and spit some jokes to a whole bunch of random people in a room and you can make the entire room laugh, you literally have a gift, and just keep going because that's awesome. And I wish I could quit my day job and become a comedian, but I can't because I'm literally talking into a phone and trying to pretend it's not awkward for me when it very much is. So yeah, there's that. Definitely something that makes me a little bit upset about growing up is that my era of, what are we called? I'm not a Gen Z, so I'm not even in that box. I think that's what my era is called, actually. Is it? I don't know, because I don't keep up to date. See how much I don't know about what's a lot of the stuff, like the names and phrases? See, my time was more like, you know, I was on Tumblr when Tumblr was a thing. And like MySpace, those were the vibes. I mean, I have 3 older siblings, so if you don't think I was around all that, come on now. My era is so cultured from the other eras before that, that like if you're a 2002 baby or like before that, like you're cool, but like anything after 2002, you're not on the list and you can't sit with us and you're not cool. I'm sorry. I mean, not throwing shade at anybody in that age range, because you guys are cool. All right, sometimes, yeah. I mean, moving on. So the world definitely is very sensitive now. So making this, I was just like, are people gonna like what I'm gonna say? Are people gonna think I'm annoying? And then I was just like, do I care though? No, I don't. So that's why I was just like, why not? Why not do a podcast? What's so bad about doing a podcast that like, I'm like, wow, everybody got a lot of shit to talk. I want to talk some shit. Like, all the time. I be talking everybody's head off about some random stuff I have no idea about sometimes. But I feel like after a whole change and like getting broken up with, and then, oh yeah, I got my stuff stolen, my podcast equipment. So like I ordered everything. It was going to look so cool in here. And then I got home from the beach and I was very drunk. Funny story, side note. Funny story, I was really drunk and I came home. I walked in my door, totally didn't even remember if I ordered anything. But when I went to the bathroom, I was like, wait, I thought I ordered some podcast stuff. And I remember because when I was at the beach, I was so excited to get back home to go see it. And mind you, no one has ever taken anything out of my apartment complex. And whoever was a dick that night, I hope you're somewhere rotten right now. Rotting in the outside and inside and just everywhere, because you stole something that made me very happy and it made me very sad afterwards. So I believe in karma, so it's gonna come back to you, because it came back to me in a good way though. So yeah. Anyways, I got my stuff stolen, got broken up with. Oh, and then my license got suspended. On top of that, it happened. Don't be like, ooh, she got her license suspended. It was because I didn't have insurance on my car for like 2 weeks. Relax. It wasn't even anything like crazy. So don't look at me like I'm the bad guy, because people's license gets suspended for little minor things sometimes. But after all that stuff kept happening, I was just like, I'm gonna give up. I don't want to do anything anymore. I just got my heart shattered. My stuff got stolen. Then I found out my license was suspended. I was like, the world is just ending around me. See how sad I was? I was so sad. And even before that, I was sad. Like, I was always negative. I never was happy about anything. Even if I was happy about something, I was just like so sad in the inside that I was just like, ugh, all right, I need to change my life. I need to get my stuff. Sorry, I'm looking because like weirdly, I have a big patio window and I can see people walking. So I'm very cautious with everybody that's around me all the time. But anyways, side note, sorry, I keep doing that. But I definitely like was very sad for a while before I started talking to anybody ever again, because I felt like my whole life just got like ripped into shambles and I had no control over anything. I'm a control freak at heart, and shout out to my girl Miss Sherry that I work with. I love her. She's literally like an adult version of me in the future. Love her. And while I was going through my breakup, she gave me the best advice I could ever get. And me thinking a control freak is like somebody that always is like freaking out about stuff and like, you know, needs to have everything in order and everything like that. Like my control freakness was like, I always had to have control of like what was going on in my relationship. And like, if I didn't have control over certain situations, like I was just going to freak out in my mind and be like overthinking and then being negative and just being hard on myself. So she told me one day and she was just like, you know what, Kathy? I'm gonna need you to stop crying. We're gonna need to stop crying because, you know, we gotta change something. You gotta change your environment. You gotta get up. You gotta go get stuff. You gotta go find yourself. Go find yourself. And she was just like, you need to take 30 days after today. After she told me that, I literally took 30 days and I didn't even talk to anybody. I did everything by myself. I was spending quality time alone, early in the morning walks. I mean, the purest thing that you can do for yourself is find enjoyment in being in solitude. 100%. I will say it to anybody that is going through anything in life. If you feel like the world's against you and you feel like you're getting rejected from everybody and everything and you don't feel like you're good enough for yourself, take 30 days, be by yourself, and learn how to be in solitude. Learn how to not need validation from people. Learn how to enjoy just being alone and being with yourself without having to text somebody or notify somebody where you're at or do this or do that. Like, no, just go out for a walk one day and just enjoy life and take it all in, or go read a book, go to the library, go to Barnes and Nobles, go to the grocery store by yourself and go get your favorite snack. Go do anything you want to do, but enjoy doing it alone, because you can't always have people surrounding you, because even if you don't think that you need people's validation, if you're constantly around people distracting yourself, you're never going to know what the true feeling of knowing yourself is going to be like, because you're surrounding yourself with so many energies that you're going to feel so drained by the end of the day, because you're like, oh, I dealt with this person, I need to deal with that person, and then I had to deal with this. And then that's how I used to feel, that every day I used to come home and I used to just be like, oh my God, I have to take care of everybody. And then myself, I was the last one on the list, because I was just like, well, I got to make sure I check up on everybody. I got to make sure I check up on friends. I got to make sure I try my best to keep relationships, even that's friendships, my mother's relationship, my siblings, like anything that had to do in my life. Like I was just like, I have to keep up with all of this. And once all that's done, then I'll focus on myself. And then I saw that that was, not a good thing. Not a good thing. So if you're doing that, refocus on yourself, take yourself out of that situation, regain consciousness to your body, because you're literally having an out-of-body experience whenever you're burnt out completely. You're just literally a zombie the whole time. You're not focused. You're not progressing in life. Even though you say that you are and you're doing all this stuff, you're not really doing anything until the actions start proving it. So with that being said, my next topic is going to be, actually validating yourself and taking control in your own ownership for a lot of things that you've put yourself through. Because I've noticed with a lot of people that we've constantly put ourselves in situations and then we blame others around us for what we're saying. So we always say like, oh, well, I'm in this situation because of this and this. And it's just like, well, you chose to put yourself in that situation. So if you can take control back, then you can just figure everything out. Because the key is to control your emotions, control how you react to situations, control your body language whenever you are talking with people. Always make sure you're confident whenever you're speaking about things, because I noticed I did not have a lot of confidence when I spoke to people. I mean, I talk all day on the phone. That is literally my job. I am on the phone and dealing with people all day long. So by the time I get home, I'm usually like brain dead, and I'm like, do I want to keep talking? I'm tired of even hearing myself talk. But then I'm just like, well, let me journal, let me write down all my thoughts, let me do this, and then let me go ahead and talk to people about my day. Because I feel like if I don't get my own feelings and my words out the way I want to put them on paper, or if I want to talk to myself, I feel like the best advice anybody can get is from yourself. I feel like you can't really... I tried it for years, getting advice from people, and I would take it, but I wouldn't use it or apply it, because I was just like, wait, that's not how I feel about the situation. So why am I going to apply somebody else's feelings that they have towards a situation onto me and try to that's how I think about it. People try to reverse your feelings about situations whenever you're telling them like, hey, I need advice, or hey, I need this. And I feel like people really drive that scenario like, oh, well, if I was in your shoes, I would feel this way. And I'm like, well, you're not. So yeah, so we'll get into that on another episode when I have one of my other special guests on, who is a therapist. Shout out to my girl Lissa. She is a licensed clinician. Yes, licensed. My girl is licensed for sure. And she will be on my podcast. We will be discussing a lot more mental health topics. She is one of my best friends in the whole entire world. I love her. So shout out to my girl Alyssa, if you're watching this. And also shout out to myself. Oddly enough to say, I know you guys were probably gonna be like, oh my god, who's she about to say? Yeah, me. Yeah, very much me. Because when nobody else was around, there was a lot of stuff going on in here that I couldn't say out loud, because I was just too afraid to have my thoughts become real. So I usually kept it in my head. So I'm definitely happy at the position I am now in life. I'm very more open. I'm very more communicative when it comes to a lot of things that I don't like, boundaries. Definitely growing up in this era and this time, I feel like you always have to be one step ahead of everybody, and you have to watch your back very closely, and you have to just be very cautious as it is in general. I feel like even if you're saying a joke or you're doing something that's like not very appropriate for a lot of people, everybody's so sensitive now that everybody's so quick to judge somebody. And I feel like my podcast, I really wanted to be a free zone for whoever to speak about whatever. I mean, let's hear people out for once. Who cares if we have different opinions about something? Who cares if you don't like the shirt I'm wearing, or you don't like, okay, it's not on you, so why do you care? Why can't we just coexist in a world where everybody just is fine with being around one another without feeling like we're in competition, or feeling like, oh, well, she's wearing this, so I gotta look better than her, or he got a better barber than me, so let me go one up him and let me go get like a $200 haircut. Like, what? Like, you guys really, and don't be out here being like, oh no, we don't be doing that. Guys compete too. Guys compete just as much as women compete. That's a whole nother topic though. That's a whole nother egos, men's egos. Oh my God. Don't even get me started with that. So no, I'm not a life coach. I'm not a therapist. I am not a guru. I am not anything, a life coach, a coach, anything that has to do with teaching. I don't have a degree in anything. This is all just personal experiences of my life that I have endured over the years. I'm very excited to take a lot of you on this journey with me, because I haven't been so open recently. I used to be very like friendly and around a lot of people, and being at a young age, you want to have a lot of friends. But once I got older and a lot of the things in my life started not working out the way I pictured them to, it definitely closed me up a little bit more and started making me more private. But I feel like I relate to so many people. I mean, I've worked at HCC, which is a Hillsborough Community College here. I worked there when I was 15. So I've always held a job. So I felt like I've always been around a lot of people, talking to different types of people, of all ages. And then going into this field and talking to so many different other peoples without seeing their faces, or talking to them whenever they are in the office, and just hearing other people's stories. Like, it made me definitely humble myself and realize that we constantly take life for granted, and we constantly are nagging about the simplest things that can easily find a solution. And a lot of people don't try to ask for help because they feel like it's a weakness, or it feels like, oh, if I ask for help, then oh my God, I can't do anything by myself. Like, asking even somebody to just listen to you talk, or somebody asking you how your day is, or just somebody making you laugh, or telling you a joke, or them telling you a story about their life or what they have going on. Like, one day, another story, side note, one day I had a lady come into the office, and she told me a beautiful story, and I felt like I related to it so much. She goes, Kathy, like, I want you to know that life is so short, that your love and your time just can't be wasted on somebody that you're not valued by. You just can't. And she didn't know me from anywhere. I didn't know her from anywhere. She was just a woman that walked in, and she wanted to talk to me about something, and she was just a woman off the street, and she just came to me that day, and I was just like, wow, like, this lady has no idea that I just got broken up with. She has no idea anything that's been going on in my life. And those words literally changed my whole perspective on what I do with my time now, who I hang out with, who I surround myself with. Like, she was just looked at me, and she even told me, she was like, God bless you, sweetie. She goes, I just feel your energy, and I just feel like you have a purpose in this life to be a giver. And even though you don't know me from anywhere, like, I feel like you are going to do amazing things in this world. And it literally, like, I wanted to just give her a big hug, but I couldn't. But I just wanted to in the moment. I was just like, I literally love you, lady. So shout out to wherever that lady is, because you might not remember me, but girl, I remember you for the rest of my life. I remember everybody that tells me something sweet. Like, I am so, like, a lover girl that I just, anytime anybody does something for me, I'm like, oh, really? You thought about me? That's so fucking sweet, dude. Like, Jesus, you're so sweet. But yeah, I will be having a lot of interviews on here coming soon. We're going to be playing Q&As. Please subscribe to my YouTube. Also my Instagram, I have that on as well. I will put that in the bio. And honestly, one thing I really want people to take away from this is to be able to get out of your head. Get out of your head and don't be listening to everybody else, because I had that trouble for so long that I continuously listened to so many people around me of like what to do, what not to do. Should I do this? Should I not do this? And I just sat there and I was just like, Kathy, girl, why are you not just listening to you? Like, you're taking all this advice from so many other people. What do you want to do? What does Catherine like? Catherine's my name, by the way, but I go by Kathy because it's more simpler for people, and that's my government name, so yeah. But I really just felt like, what am I enjoying in life, and who do I want to be when I do grow up? Because people are like, oh, since you're 21, you're adult. No, I'm literally still on a bike with training wheels. Like, I have no idea how I'm gearing through life, but I'm doing it. I get up every day, I go to work, I handle my business, I speak to who I want to speak to. I don't owe nobody nothing in this world. I know at the end of the day that when my purpose is fulfilled and I've worked and I've put my time and effort into my purpose into life, I know it will be fulfilled, and I know that I will finally be able to live the life that I've always wanted. But until then, I'm gonna be just putting out every Wednesday, every other Wednesday. You guys let me know what I should do for content wise, because I'm thinking every Wednesday, if you guys want to hear me chat that much, because I'm gonna start having interviews, fun games being played. I want this to be like a show where people can just come, enjoy, be themselves, ask questions. Please ask me questions, ask for advice, even though I just said, sometimes the best advice comes from you. I could give you advice on a couple things that, you take it or leave it, because your discretion was advised, and listeners were just whatever that word is, you know what I mean? But I don't know why I can't say that word, but definitely want to start posting more, being more active, showing people a side of me that I would normally just show to my friends. Shout out to Lace Loop, my boy. Add him on all socials, Lace Loop. D-Lo and Willie, they do shoes, they sell, resell, they go to shoe conventions, catch up with them on all platforms. They do giveaways as well, raffles. So shout out to my boys for doing their thing with that. And this is just going to be a roller coaster for everybody. I have no idea what I'm doing, so we're just going to put that out there. This is a rough draft, so nobody get mad that my quality is what it is and it's doing what it's doing, because I'm working on it, people, okay? So thank you for tuning in. Our next episode will be next week on Wednesday. Please stay tuned for all the upcoming content, all of the Q&As that we will be doing, all of the interviews. Let me know who you would like to see on here, who you think would vibe here, would cool with me. That would be nice. And just stay out of your head. Love yourself. Be you. Declutter that mind, baby, because ain't nothing better than a spring cleaning, okay? We love a good clean out of the mind, of the soul, of the body. Take care of yourself. Love you guys. And that is a wrap for the podcast.